Good afternoon. My name is Jamie Kendi, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about credit and credit score. Credit is inevitable to everyone, whether we're applying for a cell phone, applying for an auto loan, lease, buying a house, trying to get insurance. Credit affects everything that we do. First, I'm going to talk about what credit is and credit score. Then I'm going to talk about how to establish bad credit and what no credit is. And then finally, good credit and some ways that college students can establish good credit throughout their college career. So, what is credit? An article written by L.D. Smith and authors, written in the Financial Services Review, says that the credit-driven consumer economy in the United States is supported by a reporting and regulatory system that involves multiple parties. To support this system, the three major credit bureaus of the United States maintain credit history on approximately 2 million consumers and process nearly 2 billion items of information each month. So that's a lot of information. You have the buyers, you have the sellers, and you have the institutions that process and come up with your credit score. The three major credit bureaus are Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. What is credit score? Credit score are decision-making tools that lenders use to help them determine how likely you are to repay your loans on time. We look at the credit score range. We have bad and fair, down to 300 to 670. Good, very good, and excellent go from 670 all the way up to 850. So how do we determine credit score range, or what our credit score is? We have credit score factors. The first one is type of accounts. Those are whether we have an auto loan, mortgage, credit card. These are all different types of accounts. Payment history, if we're paying our loans on time, or if we're having late payments or we're going delinquent. Used versus available credit, that's how much credit we actually have versus how much we're using and paying back. Length of credit history, are we just fresh into credit and loans, or have we established a good or a bad history? And then number of accounts, the number of accounts that we have, whether we have 10 credit cards or whether we have 3 auto loans. Number of accounts also is a factor. One thing that I didn't add in here was that hard inquiries, so how many times you're applying for credit, also makes a factor, but it's not as big as it used to be. So next we're going to talk about bad credit. Again, those credit scores were 300 to 670, bad and fair. Ways to establish bad credit are having few account types or having too many delinquent account types. Obviously, late payments are going to give you bad credit. If you're maximizing your credit limit or going beyond your credit limit. And then finally, if you have a short or long-term history of delinquency, that'll also give you bad credit. If we look at a simple auto loan, a $25,000 car, we qualify with bad credit for a 10% interest rate. It looks like over a 5-year period, we're overpaying almost $7,000 on a car. So you can see the effects of bad credit. We go on to no credit. No credit, again, is sometimes said to be as bad as bad credit. Not utilizing the financial system, so nobody has a history of our credit. We don't have any credit lines, and again, no history. So it's a lot easier to establish good credit with no credit, but it's a lot harder to establish good credit if you have bad credit. Next, we're going to talk about good credit. You can see the very good credit score ranges, 740 to 800 and 800 to 850. Good credit factors, again, having those multiple accounts, on-time payments. Lisa Gessner, from a research article in Kipling's Personal Finance article, says that the most influential factor for very good and elite credit score holders is a record of on-time payments. So you want to make your payments on time if you can. Minimal use of revolving credits. We have a lot of credit we can use, but we're only using a little bit. Gives us good credit. Long-term history. If we have a long-term history of good credit, that'll boost up our score. And having numerous different types of accounts. Again, we look at that simple car loan again, a $25,000 car. With good credit, we qualify for a 0% interest rate. We're only paying for the car, so we're saving ourselves that $7,000. Again, it could be compounded if we were buying a mortgage or anything like that. It would be a lot more that we're paying versus bad credit. Demetria Gallios of the Wall Street Journal gives advice for helping us establish good credit. She says, freshman year we can be added to our parents' credit card as a cosigner if they have good credit. Sophomore year we can co-sign an auto loan with on-time payments will help us. Junior year, start making payments on student loans if we're able to make those payments or if the loan allows us. And then finally, senior year, applying for our student credit card before graduation or applying for better rates. Credit affects us all. And after this speech, hearing about credit, what will you do with your credit and how will you affect it in a good way? Thank you very much.